channel. Today I want to teach us how to make a buttonhole or a buttonhole stitch. Okay, so and I want to walk us through some of the settings on the machine that you need to set for you to get your buttonhole. Now, to make a buttonhole you need a zigzag machine, okay, or a machine that has a zigzag stitch. Now for this tutorial, this is the machine I'll be using, okay, and there are different types of machines with different zigzag designs or different designs, so I'll also show you on my other machine, okay, what the zigzag stitch looks like. Now here for me on this machine, this is the needle positioning, okay. You can put it on the left, in the middle, or on the right, okay, depending on where you want your needle to be. Okay, you can see, so this is left, this is middle, and this is right. Okay, now this here is your stitch width. Okay, this is for your zigzag. When it's at 0 here, it means a straight stitch, but from 1 to 5, okay, is your zigzag stitch. Okay, so 1, 2 are the small zigzag stitches, 3, 4 medium size, and 5 is the big zigzag stitch. Okay, I hope you can see. Okay, there's a knob there that is not really allowing us to see the numbers, but you can see. So 0 here is for straight stitch, 1 and 2 is for small size zigzag stitch, 3 is for medium size, 3 and 4 medium size, and 5 is for the big zigzag stitch. Okay, and here is my stitch width selector. Okay, so for my buttonhole, okay, I'm setting it at 0.5. okay, so but if you have the other type of sewing machine, okay, please don't mind the dust. This machine has been packed for a long time. All right, so for my zigzag and my buttonhole, I'm leaving it at 0.5. You can see, you can turn it to have, this is 1 to 1.5 to 2.5, so but I'm working with 0.5 for my buttonhole. Now please, if you don't have this type of machine, your normal machines that have zigzag stitch can suffice. You can just place your stitch selector at 1 or between 1. Okay, so that's that. So to begin, I've placed my needle position at the right hand side. You can see this is my right hand. Okay, I've placed my needle position at the right hand, and my stitch selector is at 0.5. okay, all right, so this is what your normal zigzag sewing machine. This is a normal sewing machine that has a zigzag stitch. Okay, so you can see the zigzag stitch. Let me zoom in a little. Okay, so this right here is for straight stitch. Okay, this right here is for the straight stitch. This is a small zigzag stitch, another smaller zigzag stitch, a big one, and the biggest zigzag stitch. Okay, so we're going to be working with this, or this, depending on the size of the buttonhole you want to make. Okay, depending on how tight or how wide you want the stitches to be. Now the next thing will be the needle positioning. Okay, so this is it. When it's in the middle here, that means that your needle would be in, this is your needle. Okay, this is the needle. Let me turn it. Okay, although I wouldn't be using this machine for it, but I want to show us with this machine. I'll be using a vintage sewing machine. Okay, so but this one, everybody that has a zigzag machine, okay, can relate to what I'm saying here. All right, so let's go to the needle positioning. So when it's in the middle here, that means your needle should be in the middle here on the left and here on the right. Okay, you just push it to whichever side you want your needle to be. Okay, so this right here is also another zigzag stitch. Okay, but I basically use it most times when I want to do some embroidery designs, this particular one. Okay, now here is your stitch regulator. Okay, so it helps you regulate your stitch. You can see the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this machine is quite old, so please ignore how it looks. It serves me, that's the most important thing. Okay, so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if you take it to this part, this upper part, it means you want the stitches to be in reverse position. Okay, you want it to be going backwards. Okay, so now I'll explain how your zigzag, your buttonhole would work. You would put your stitch regulator, okay, at, this is 1 now. All right, you can see this little mark here before 1. You can see this mark here. Okay, so you're going to place your stitch regulator there. All right, between 1 Okay, so it's like 0.5. Okay, so you're going to place it there, then select whatever type of zigzag stitch you want. Now for the first stitch, I recommend you use the wider one. Okay, this wider one, I recommend you use this wider one, okay, to make the first stitch. Okay, that's to overlock the buttonhole. Then you take it to whatever size you want. Okay, so I'm going to show you that on the machine. Okay, so to make a buttonhole, I'll be making use of this gum stay. I folded it into 4 places. Okay, so to have a bit of weight. Okay, so you also need to measure the button you're working with. Okay, the button you want to attach into your buttonhole. So you mark the upper part and the lower part. Okay, so this will be the length of your buttonhole. Okay, you can make a mark in between like so. So this will be the length of your buttonhole. Okay, so your normal zigzag machine has different zigzag widths. Okay, it has a small size, the medium size, and the large size. So what you want to do is to set your stitch width, okay, to the smallest one. Okay, so on my sewing machine, I have from 0 to 4. Okay, so I'm setting it at 0.5. That's your stitch width. Okay, I'll show you that on another machine. Okay, so this is your stitch, your button length. Then you're going to, the first stitch you're going to make here will be is the wide zigzag stitch, wide one. Okay, so you're going to put your needle, in between. Okay, I'm just going to ignore this and make a normal buttonhole so you can see, but you can follow this. So put your needle, place it at the wide zigzag stitch, and run like 5 stitches. Okay, okay, so I had to zoom that in so that I would see. So after doing this, I'm going to set my zigzag stitch. Okay, this is my zigzag stitch. I'm going to set it to 2. Okay, then we'll go back to sewing. Okay, so I've set it back at 2. Okay, so I'll start making my stitch depending on the size of buttonhole that you want. So when I've gotten to the length that I want, what I'll do is to set it back to 5. Okay, so that's the widest stitch. Okay, so make like 5 stitches again. You can see that's to secure the lower part. Then I'll raise up my presser foot, turn my fabric on my paper. Okay, then set it back to 2. Okay, now I'm going to place my needle. I'm going to make sure that my needle is at where the big stitch, okay, ended, like so. I'm going to place my needle there. Let me bring it out so you can see. So when I want to sew this side, now I'm going to place my needle here, directly here, so that I can sew on a straight line like this. Okay, so let's do that. I'll make sure to place my needle directly here. Okay, so I'll bring down my presser foot and sew. And that is it. So you can see your buttonhole. You can make as many as you want. Okay, I've made so many, you can see them. So you can play around your stitch width and your stitch length, okay, depending on the size of buttonhole that you want. Okay, so I'm gonna do another one. The first zigzag stitch, that's the widest one. The second one, you place it at 2 or 1 depending on what you want. Okay, then you can place at 5 to secure the lower part. When I say 5, I mean the wider one. You turn it. Okay, then make sure that your needle positions directly at where your stitch ended, like so. Then I take it back to 2. Okay, so I can start sewing. That's it. So when you have a zigzag machine, okay, making buttonholes becomes so easy. I used to worry about making buttonholes because I lost my buttonhole foot. Okay, I'll like try to share a picture on the screen of what a buttonhole foot looks like, so you can see. You can now, trim any excess. So I'll make another one so that you can see how easy this actually is. Okay, so once you've learned how to do it, okay, you might want to just be making as much buttonholes as you want. Okay, like so. So you can see, super beautiful, so beautiful. Okay, so the thing is just to know how to set your machine, your stitch length and your stitch width. So for your stitch length, you use the smallest size, then play around the size of your zigzag stitch on your machine. Okay, so I'm going to use a bigger size now. Let's see. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so this is it. You can see the smaller one, the smaller size and the bigger size. So you just play around it. Okay, making buttonholes can actually be easy. It can really be easy. Okay, so I've made 1 2 3 4 5 buttonholes within few minutes. Okay, so you can actually even make a business out of it. People are looking for who to make buttonholes for them. Okay, so you can make a business out of it. Now if you have a zigzag machine, you could also use it to make embroidery designs. Okay, just let your creativity come in. Okay, let me set my needle. Okay, so you can make some beautiful designs for your dresses. Okay, so I'm going to set it at this. So you can see this. Okay, I'm also going to try to make some other ones. Okay, can make some cool designs. Okay, so these are some of the designs I've made. You can see them, so they can see your buttonholes very easy.